Hey everyone, welcome back to Dazzling Diamonds Boutique. So today I will be doing a tutorial on how I'm going to be using these printable HTV designs to make a custom shirt and some custom overalls. Now I will be making some more shirts. It's going to have this design, catch flights, not feelings, but I will be doing that in another video for you guys because this video here is already going to be way too long and I don't want to make it, over an hour. So we're going to save that for another day. So it's going to be the Marvelous theme, and this is the design that I'm going to be using for the front. And then I have these designs over here that I'm going to be putting on the overalls. And I'm just going to put them up the legs and stuff like that. So these are the overalls that I'm going to be using. They are the pants, and I love that it has little details in it. So I think it's going to be really cute. So this is going to be pretty simple. The only thing we're going to need is our transfer tape. We're going to need our designs print and cut with an outline around it. And then you're going to need a heat press and whatever you're going to be pressing it to. So the first thing that I'm going to do is go ahead and start weeding out my design. And all I'm doing when I weed the design is removing the excess white part from the design that I don't want to be pressed to my garment. And you guys, I could not find my weeding tool anywhere, so I went ahead and had to use my X-Acto knife, but I definitely do not recommend using the X-Acto knife. But I had to use what I have, but I'm comfortable using it, so I'm okay with it. But if you guys do use it, just be very careful because it is sharp. It's very easy to poke yourself, but I definitely recommend using a weeding tool to do this. Now I know a lot of people already know how to weed vinyl, so I will go ahead and speed this part up for you guys, but just make sure you be very careful because any of those little details, you want to be careful that you don't rip those. We are done weeding, and this is how it looks. And this little pit bull right here, he will not be going on this design. I just wanted to save paper, so I went ahead and added him here, but he's actually going to be going on a different order. So that's just another way to save your vinyl by combining the designs. So now I'm just going to go ahead and cut everything out because I will be placing all of these on there separately, so I don't want them as one individual piece. Okay, so we are back and I went ahead and cut everything out. I don't want you guys to have to sit through all that cutting, and I'm going to go ahead and move this to the side. So now the overalls are ready, and now we can go ahead and start weeding out our design for the t-shirt. And it is the same process as we did for the overalls, so I will go ahead and speed this up as well for you guys. Okay, so now we are done weeding, and I'm just going to use my transfer tape to lay it over the image to see where to cut it. And then I just pull it back from the backing and place it on top of the design. And then you want to very carefully place that transfer sheet on top of the design, being careful not to get any folds or anything like that. And if you do, sometimes you are able to lift it just so you can fix it. And from here, I'm just going to go ahead and cut it out just to remove all that excess that I do not need. And from here, what you want to do is go ahead and grab either your squeegee tool or a credit card, and we're going to use it to kind of just go across this really firmly just to make sure that it really sticks to that adhesive, because what you want to do is have this design lift from the backing that it's on. And then what I usually do is I do it on the top and then I flip it over and I do it on the back as well. And now what we want to do is go ahead and lift the design from the backing that is on. I'm just using my X-Acto knife to help me lift it. And once I get this lifted, I'm just going to go ahead and start pulling the backing off. And you do want to make sure you're being very careful while you're trying to pull this back, because you don't want to pull it too fast and the design ends up ripping. because that's like the worst thing, and then you have to print it again and all that stuff. So just do it very carefully. And it also makes it a lot easier if you lay it down on a table and you see I'm holding it with one hand and I'm using the other hand to pull the backing off. And if you do have any pieces that have lifted, all you have to do is lay them back down. I did have a piece that lifted right here, so I'm just making sure that I lay it back down straight. Okay, so now we have the front design ready to go. It is ready to be pressed to the shirt. And what I normally do is go ahead and get this and I put it back on top of the backing just for storing until I'm ready to use it. But since I'm going to be using this right now, I'm just going to go ahead and move it to the side, and then I'm going to go ahead and start getting my transfer tape ready for the individual pieces that we cut out for the overalls. And it is literally the same exact process, so I'm going to go ahead and meet you guys over at the heat press. Okay, so now we're over at the heat press and we have all of our designs prepped and ready to go. Now we're on to the fun part, which is actually heat pressing. So this is the best part for me because all that prep work is kind of tedious, but you know, pressing, that's the easy part for me. So I did go ahead and set my heat press to 315 degrees for 15 seconds. And right now I'm just pre-pressing my garment to remove any moisture and wrinkles. And you do not have to let it go the full 15 seconds, but it is going to be hot, so be careful when you are removing this Teflon sheet. Okay, so you guys, everybody has their own way of making sure their design is centered down the middle of the shirt, and I don't use like a t-shirt ruler or anything like that. I have tried different things. I've tried the laser, I've tried the t-shirt ruler, but this is the way that works best for me. So what I do is I get my t-shirt and I fold it in half vertically, and then I fold it in half diagonally. Kind of like you're just folding it, you know, to put it in a drawer or something like that. And then I put it on the heat press, cover it with my Teflon sheet, and then I press it for a few seconds. And once I go ahead and remove this from the heat press, you guys will see that it creates like a little T inside the shirt. And that gives me my guidelines for where to line up my design. I can see where the center is, and I can see where the middle of the shirt is. And all I do is put a crease in my design, and I just line up the two creases. But it'll make more sense once we go ahead and press it. And then I also use a pressing pillow. I did go ahead and sew these myself. That's why they look so rough. But I do have different sizes, and I use them for different garments. So it all depends on what I'm using it for. And the reason why I'm using the pressing pillow is to make sure that whenever I go to put my design on top, that I won't be pressing over any seams or anything from the collar. Okay, so I just fold my design over on itself, making sure the two sides are even, and then I use my hand to do like a light crease in a design that shows me where the center of the design is, and then I line it up with the crease in my garment. And then I make sure that it's a few fingers from the top of the collar, so I usually do about 2 or 3 fingers, and that is how I make sure that my design is centered on my shirts. And sometimes, you know, you have to take it off and look at it, make sure it's good. If it's not, adjust it, because sometimes you can't always depend on this, but this is a very good method to use, and it usually works for me. Okay, so from here you can go ahead and press your garment and let it go the full 15 seconds. And this is a warm peel, so that means that you can go ahead and remove the transfer tape a few seconds after heat pressing it. And this is how it looks. It will have a bit of a shine to it, so I just put it back on the heat press, cover it with the Teflon sheet, and let it go an additional 15 seconds. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and remove the Teflon sheet and just examine my design and make sure everything's good. I think we're good to go. I'm loving how this came out. I think it looks really pretty. So now we can move on to the overalls. So I'm gonna go ahead and pre-press my overalls and place my designs off camera, and then I'll be right back. So I went ahead and started pressing these designs here. I'm just gonna very carefully remove the transfer tape just so I can make sure that they have adhered And if they haven't, you just lay the transfer tape back down and you press it again. And I did forget to mention this, but as you guys can see on the overalls, there's 2 seams on the side of my design, so I have to make sure that my design is lifted up above those seams so I can make sure that they receive equal temperature and pressure from the heat press. So what I did was I had some leftover heat resistant styrofoam that I used for my heat press pillows, and I got that and I cut up 2 squares to place inside both pants legs. And I did not show me inserting them, but it's really easy. All I did was slide it up each leg, and put it where I wanted to place my design at. And what I'm doing now is just moving the pillows to a different spot on the overalls where I have already started taping down where I want it to be at with my heat resistant tape. But this tape does not keep it from moving, you guys. So it will still kind of slide a little bit, but it works for the most part. Okay, so now this one's done. And it came out really good, you guys. So it's pretty much the same thing for the rest of the overalls. So I'm just gonna stop talking now and let you guys just watch me place the rest of these designs on here. Okay, you guys, so now we are on to the back of the overalls, and that is pretty much it. Now I have shown you guys how we turn some plain overalls like these into these overalls right here. And I think they came out so good. I am so in love with this. I think she's gonna be really cute. And here's the back side. And she has a matching custom shirt as well. And this was all done with printable heat transfer vinyl. And finally, we are ready to prepare our item to be shipped. So what I do is go ahead and slide it into these t-shirt bags that I have here. And I did pick these up at my local vinyl supply. I did not have to purchase them. I was actually given them as a free gift for getting a certain amount of points for shopping there. And I really love them. They came in really handy for when I'm getting ready to ship orders and stuff like that. And once I have it in there, I just usually throw in a thank you card as well as some care instructions. And I always try to throw in a little free gift. And this one is a custom phone grip that I made. And now this order is complete and it is ready to be shipped. You guys, I hope you really enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you really learned something. If you are enjoying my videos and you enjoy seeing content like this, please subscribe and let me know in the comments. I would really appreciate it. And hit that notification bell so you will be notified every time I upload new videos for you guys. I really appreciate you guys again for watching, and I will see you in the next one.